Yeah. Thank you, Mr. O'Brien, for that inspiring and very, very thought-provoking message.
Not coming.
It's coming.
Yes, Mr. Hoffland.
Yeah.
I need to put my video on.
I was just
So now
wondering.
that you have Mr. Hoffland and me both on, he was eating, I wasn't.
Yeah, dinner time.
Can we just find out what with Andrew? Can you ask? Can everybody send me a message? Can you see us and can you hear us? Can you see Andy and me and can you hear us? Anyone send Andy a message or me a message? Send me a message. Can you see us and can you hear us?
Yeah, we're on. So I was just wondering, I mean, seeing as we have so many members online like this, and this is a first, and we may not get opportunity.
Sorry, Andy. We've got an okay. They can see us in here.
Yeah, I can see and hear on the TV. So I was
Andy, before we begin, I've just seen the votes over here. Okay. And initially, there were a lot of people saying, have it today. Yeah. But finally, the number of votes for people saying on Boxing Day seems to be going up. So I don't know what we're going to do. Let's ask the governing body members who are online. So far, the governing body is 2 and 2. Can somebody tell me how many views we have? Shomnath, can you just call me and tell me how many views we have? What should we do? I mean, I've never been so much at a loss for. I take quick decisions nowadays, especially. Shomnath's on the line. Yes, Shomnath. So then we shouldn't. Yeah. Okay. So we shouldn't have it, right? Boxing Day. So we'll have it on Boxing Day. Okay. Okay. The number of views has really gone down, obviously. So those of you who are on, don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. We want to do it when more people watch it. Okay. So let Christmas be over. Till then, get tense. The results are ready. They're very exciting. On Boxing Day, we will have it. But don't get bored now. I just thought of it. So I texted Andrew about half an hour ago, Andy. I said, Andy, let's have a filler. You ask me questions. Only thing is, don't start saying, and the nation wants to know, and the community
deserves to know. Mr. O'Brien. No. Yes.
Okay, so Andy and I will just have a little chat. Maybe first a bit serious if you want, Andy. I don't mind. And then maybe you want to have some fun. So those of you who are watching, sit back, relax, enjoy your coffee or whatever else you're drinking, and enjoy this. Even if there are just a few people, there are quite a few people, but not enough for the prize distribution. So sorry to break your hearts. We're not going to have the prize distribution because I've got to go by the votes. It's clearly in favor of Boxing Day. I'm so sorry about this. We will announce the time. It will be held on Boxing Day, and it'll be fun. Don't worry, it'll be fun. And I will be a part of it also. I'll force myself to be a part of it with Andy. Okay, and we'll have Graham back and hopefully Justin back. Sorry. Okay, so Andy, let's go for a chat.
Yeah, a few questions. So I think I think you will now shed your Mr. O'Brien, and we shall call you. You will be Barry, and I'll be Andy. So this is Barry and Andy.
Lovely. Barry and Andy. That was my brother's name is also Andy, incidentally. Okay.
So my first question to you is, what would you say have been the most significant ups and downs in, let's say, this past year, in your opinion?
For the community or?
For the community, for you personally, I don't know. Take it any way you wish.
Well, for the community, let's begin by saying for the community, did you say the plus? What did you say? The
ups and downs.
Ups and downs.
This year or...
So, okay. So the ups and downs, well, I'll have to go for the downs first because the ups come from the downs. So I'm going for the downs first. The first down is that obviously this pandemic, World War I, the community was greatly affected. after World War One. The poverty was already in the community, and the poverty in the community doubled after the war during that time. And then when independence came again, India, we were at the crossroads because people were wondering what was going to happen. And I would say this is the third crossroads for two reasons. One is this pandemic, which is actually many of our people have lost their jobs, they've lost their livelihood. Fortunately, most of them have not lost hope. So that's been a huge minus. We had many plans to do many things before the pandemic came, both socially, culturally, as well as in terms of, I don't like the word charity, in terms of the work, in terms of touching people's lives. But unfortunately, all that's on the back burner now. And everything is now to do with how can we boost up people's morale? How can we stand beside people and physically help people, like our branches are doing with rations, etc. So we're encouraging them all the time to do it, and many of them are doing it very well. I thank them. From the governing body in the head office, we were targeting literally 1 crore of rupees for the wall of togetherness, and we were quite optimistic about getting at least halfway there, 75% there, and maybe later up there. But we have a figure of 7 lakhs. So now that wouldn't have happened in the 9 months if this didn't happen. So we, I think, across 50 lakhs, but still 7 lakhs of rupees some people have given. When I didn't think we'd get 70 rupees because people are facing challenges.
Everyone.
So that's the down. And people like Andy are lucky in the sense that you're, freelancer, but even there, you're stuck. You must have lost lots of voiceovers, etc. Andy, I have
everyone, isn't it? Yeah.
From the 1st of March, I had not done a single quiz. The last 2 months, I've started doing online quizzes, etc. So it's affected me also. So that's the first one, which we can only show solidarity and stand beside people. Branches have to do it, and from the head office governing body, we are trying our best to do it. Hopefully, where we'll start with the 7 lakhs that we have. It's not to dole out; it's to help people who have a concrete idea and a skill, or half a skill, to plan how to use small amounts of money, because we've got to spread it out. The second thing, which has been a real downer, is that the government of India, to quote them, they said 296 Anglo-Indians are there. You will not get your seats anymore. No MLA seats in about 13, 14 states, and no 2 MP seats. Now, that was a real downer, because if the government felt that you're not enough Anglo-Indians, or for whatever reason, and there was a study, and there was they would talk to us about it over months and years. This happened, almost like evolved, then it would be different. But for it to be decided just with the drop of the hat without informing the community, we are partners in it. We are partners with the government in it. We were not informed, and then we were suddenly told 296. So that was a real downer, that we do not have representation any longer. We just have the last person, 25th of January, Mr. Glenn Galston, who was sworn in on the last date that the law was effective. And that's it. We will not be having any more MLAs and MPs. So that was a real downer.
And the ups?
Well, the ups... before I come to the ups, can I just talk for a minute on the seats?
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that, Barry, because a lot of people always have an opinion on this. Many feel that, the seats don't really help the community. Others feel that it's very divisive, rather than bringing the community together. Many of them feel that it sort of spreads people out and puts them one against the other. What is your take on this?
Andy, you're a tricky fellow, huh? You don't, you drink milk or lassi or whatever, but you ask tough questions. Whiskey drinkers. Well, honestly, firstly, let me clarify that
I don't have an opinion. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, okay. No, I will give you my opinion very clearly. I'm just sharing with you that, firstly, there are usual lot of people saying, hey, what did the All India Anglo-Indian Association do about it? What are you guys doing about it? Come on, you're asleep. I get many messages from people. Many of them are not members of our association, most of them, in fact. So actually what happened is, in December itself, when we got to know, we immediately took the first step. The All India Anglo-Indian Association took the lead and called everybody together for a meeting in the first week of January in Calcutta. I must tell you, it was very, very well attended by ex-MPs, ex-MLAs, present MLAs, and leaders of all other organizations. Many of those organizations some of those organizations were breakaway from this association. Some of those people I reached out to and called were expelled 20, 30 years ago by my predecessors. But we had to put everything aside and call everybody, and I'm really grateful that all of them came. And we decided over there that we would keep talking to the government at one level, and we would also look at the possibility of going to court. But not now. We had to first talk to the government. So we kept writing to the Honorable Prime Minister, the Honorable Home Minister, and the Honorable Law Minister. And finally, we got a response and a meeting, but perhaps very intelligently on their part, after the 25th of Jan, which was the last date that, this thing could be was effective. So on the 27th or 28th, he called, we got a date, and about 10, 12 of us, including from our association, there was Mr. Golston, Mr. Bernard Rodrigues, Mrs. Venetia Miro, myself, and then there were others from other leaders also. We all went and we met the law minister. He listened to everything, and then he finally told us that, the door is still open, the door is not shut. So the door is not shut means the door is not shut. So we took that at face value. And since then, we've been writing letters. We didn't expect a reply, to be very honest with you. And we've even written a letter saying we wouldn't mind, we would like to have a video call, or what do we call this?
Conference.
Online meeting, with the Honorable Prime Minister or Home Minister, because that's what the Law Minister has advised us. Unfortunately, in spite of all these letters, nothing has happened, and we have had no response. Of course, the government is also very busy. So now there are 3 schools of thought. One is the school of thought is, come on, drop everything, don't wait anymore, go to court. And the people countering that are saying, where's the money going to come from? Who's going to actually go to court? Who's going to give the time and go to Delhi and do it? These are the All India Administration stance is very clear. We do not have the funds to spend on a hefty court case. If we raise funds like we are, we're going to use all the money for the good and welfare of our people. That's our stance. Maybe right, maybe wrong in somebody's opinion. As far as we are concerned, it's very clear, and that's what we're going to do. We're struggling to do it, but we're going to do that. And those of you who want to go to court, please do that. Even if some member wants to go as an individual, that member is most welcome to go. But it's not possible. In fact, Andy, you'll be happy to know there are some young Anglo-Indian lawyers and other people, not even Anglo-Indians, who want to take up this matter and go to court. We are providing them with all the information and whatever help they need. But the initiative, if we take that initiative, then we will all be busy doing that, and then we will not be able to concentrate. Is it wrong what the government has done? Blatantly wrong, the manner in which it has been done. But to take it to court is a multi-dimensional issue which we are not in a position to handle now. So having said that now,
shooting yourself in the foot.
And now to address, don't worry, I am not sidestepping your question. Yes, there are many people who feel that I don't know who the MLA is. I will not recognize the MP. I'm not talking about 10 years or 5 years or 20 years. For the last 20, 30, 40 years. Who's the MLA? Who's the MP? How has the community been helped? Where is the MP lad or the MLA money being spent, etc.? All these questions are being asked. I cannot answer them, but I can just tell you, if the MLA is a governing body member, or if the MLA is even a member of our association, they've tried to act responsibly, and we have tried to help them also in this. But we cannot take the lead in now going this, because you're taking the government of India to court, which probably means many years, many monies.
Long drawn out.
And whatever we have, we want to do for the welfare of our people all the time and all the money, etc. Whether MLAs and MPs worked and helped, I can't comment on it, but I can just tell you, many people in the community feel that yes, it divided our community. Heaps of people wanted to be MLAs, heaps of people wanted to be MPs, and therefore it disunited the community. That's a strong opinion, you're right.
We'll have to keep the question. I've got a few more if you've got time.
Yeah. Keep it.
All right. There's so many novel ideas, and there's a complete new openness within the association, and there's so much happening. I feel it's a happening time. I mean, there is a lot of progress happening. Where do you see us progressing? Like, what do you envision for the future of the All India Anglo-Indian Association? In the days to come. What do you sort of envision?
Well, I'll just be very brief because
we'll have to. I've got lots of questions, Barry.
Yeah, no, yeah, good. Sorry,
I've got lots of questions.
Okay, cool. No, I'm joking. You're like, this Andy's a deadly guy. No, what I'm saying to you is, Andy, it's a good question. Frankly, we had many plans. We've had to re-look at everything now. So I'm going to share it with you. I see, as I've always said, the association has to move in many directions. The most important direction now is to see how we can help our young people.
Yeah.
So that's the most important thing for us over the next 12 months. Yes, we can't go and fight and get them back their jobs, etc. So what we are appealing to everybody to do is, please be in touch with us if you can help in any way. And people have come forward. We have started this Facebook page called The Way Forward, which brings opportunities, jobs, and just a few people doing it, and they're doing an excellent job. Every day there's a post, every single day. It may be a government job, it may be a private job, a hotel, a nurse required, a matron required, bank job. Every day there's a post on The Way Forward. So all those of you who are listening to this, please go and join. It's a group so that you can pass those messages on to your children, to your friends' children, to branch members, etc. And youth, young people. We can't put that on YouTube. Go there and see there are millions of opportunities, and we are highlighting those opportunities on The Way Forward.
You had this very good webinar. I was watching that webinar where someone was talking about how to equip yourself to deal with the COVID times. So that was also very
good idea. Yes, you're right. Besides the Facebook, so that's one, opportunities. Okay, The Way Forward, where it's being done in a constructive, proper way with members. We will at some later stage disclose the names and add names to it, etc. Because everything can't be done by the President-in-Chief and the governing body. And key members are coming forward and really striving to do something. And then we have people who are, the youth is involved in that, organizing webinars. We've organized one for teachers, prospective teachers. We've organized one for, Clive Vanberl did one recently, a few weeks ago, for how to make yourself, actually employable, or, present yourself better. Unfortunately, Andy, I don't hesitate in saying that the numbers didn't come. I mean, you can't have these things attended by 20, 30 people.
That makes sense.
And we've had quite a few webinars, other webinars also. Numbers have not been great. But I always, who are organizing it, or the experts who are doing it, or the governing body, I always tell them, don't worry about who's watching or who's coming. We have to do what we have to do.
Yeah.
So it's our job to do that. After that, it's up to the youth and others. But please come on The Way Forward, and come forward, be part of webinars. The youths, led by Vanessa Wilson and her team, they have organized many webinars. They've been a bit busy now. They will come back into action, I'm sure, from January, and we'll have many more webinars. So that's one. Two is the English language.
Oh, yeah.
And now, I've just gone off on a tangent. Instead of being defensive, about other languages. And no. Let's be now gracefully aggressive about our mother tongue, because in any case, everybody wants our mother tongue. So we've started expressions for the love of the English language. And we have some very capable people, Dr. Daphne Gomez and Dr. Sherilyn Shivan and Maya Gomez, and they are handling it with a team. And we're encouraging people to write in English, creative writing, and we've had contests, and they'll have much more. And it's not only for Anglo-Indians, it's for non-Anglo-Indians also, who are going crazy about it, in fact. They organized a writing contest, and I think they got some 250 entries, and many of them from non-Anglo-Indians. So why not? Let's project and propel
Yeah.
the English language further.
Everyone contribute. Yeah.
And the other thing is for branches to be more active, for branches to be more focused, and for people to let go. If you're busy or if you've had enough of years, let the others come on. That's also one of our focuses. So really, it's skills and jobs for the young and people who are especially out of a job, livelihood. Those of you who can study further, go and study further. The biggest example I always give is Neil Innes. Comes from a family, very limited financial resources, very limited financial resources. Studied well, finished from La Martiniere, went to St. Stephen's College, did chemistry honors, did well over there, got a scholarship. The association also helped. The All India Anglican Education Institution also helped. Then got admission into a university in down south, and then suddenly sends a mail that I've got an all paid for PhD in France.
Wow.
Now that is tenacity, Andy. He did it on his own. We just moral support, little money here and there, but we need drive like that. Okay, so to find people like him to motivate more people to do that, that would be our key aim. Alive, to keep our language alive. This Christmas panorama, non-Anglicans have told me, hey, lovely idea, oh, very nice and all that. So culturally, with people like you and Julian Redden and Graham Hayden, we are planning to have a Facebook page with the youth, which will have only singing and dancing and theatre and talent. Yeah. So Andy knows all about that. So that's one of our other pillars, as it were.
All right. Your next question. You can decline to answer this one if you feel. You see, your dad was the president-in-chief, and now you are the president-in-chief. So what are your views on dynasties and, dynastic rule? I mean, that's a big thing in India. And how do you see yourself in the light of being the successor to the line of, people like Sir Henry Gidney or Frank Anthony or Mr. Neil O'Brien?
And here did I, man. Okay. What are my views on dynasty? Well, actually, to be very honest with you, Sunil Gavaskar's son, or Sachin Tendulkar's son, got the cricket ball and bat in their hands and got a chance probably to play in the nets first before others, maybe. So Neil O'Brien's son started going to AGMs in 1978, 77, 78, when I was 14, 15 years old. So, but my brothers didn't go that often. So if it's dynasty, then my brothers should also be around. But they had other inclinations, other areas of interest, other motivations. Somehow this got into me. Yeah. So my father or mother didn't put me here. And to that extent, it's not dynasty. I can humbly tell you, elected post my father's death, in fact. So I believe that dynasty, because you're the son or daughter of somebody, that is your claim to fame or reason for you to become the president-in-chief or the president of the branch or the head or the governing body member or the prime minister of India or whoever. That's just not on. Because you will be exposed.
It's your capability.
You need the people's support. You need acceptability beyond just your name. You'll have to work. You'll have to have a little bit of this to do that. You will have to be a leader. You'll have to be accepted. Because otherwise, yes, you may get a chance to play for India one test match. Maybe, I don't know. No, you won't even get that. But you may get some matches, etc. After that, you'll be shown the door. So you have to perform. Even if you are part of a dynasty. But you can't just become because you are somebody's son or daughter.
So, you said that you sort of grew into it and, you were always there. So I'm just wondering, do you ever think of, giving this all up? And if you did, what would you want to do? What kind of a person or what kind of a professional do you see yourself being if you were not doing this?
No. Oh, well, one sec. Hang on. I don't do this professionally. My profession is suffering a great deal because of this unpaid job. But one aspect retrospect very quickly, how do I see myself in view of Sir Henry Gidney being the successor of Henry Gidney, Anthony, and Mr. Neil O'Brien? Well, obviously, they're giants. And you know what happens with giants? No offense to them, but you get more recognition 100 years later or 50 years later, or after you're laid out.
Yeah.
Sir Henry Gidney, read history. Sir Henry Gidney, the people were after him. Some chaps were just after him, criticizing him, telling him, making allegations about money and things like that. Mr. Anthony, not in the early years, but in the later years, and I witnessed it myself, 1980s, where people would, post 1975 or so, people would say that, why is he carrying on and on? So lots of criticism. Okay. These were like giants. These were great leaders. I mean, he actually was talking to the British Prime Minister and trying to work things out. Mr. Frank Anthony, I mean, according to me, obviously, the greatest Anglo-Indian who was ever born was Frank Anthony, according to me, because he actually fought this whole thing saying India is my home and we are not going anywhere. And he fought for our seats, not just our seats. He fought for English, our education system, our English language. He founded the ICSE Council. So there was nobody like him. Mr. Neil O'Brien had great acceptance and was very fortunate. There was no independence. There was no World War. There was no coronavirus. So he's the luckiest president-in-chief, Mr. Neil O'Brien. But these are giants. I could never, ever fill their shoes. Never. And I never want to fill their shoes. I have my own small
pair of shoes.
My style is probably different from all of them. A little similar to some of them in some way, but very different. And I think I'm a fairly modern thinking person, though these young people maybe make me feel old. But I can just tell you one thing that, Andy, each one has to do their own thing. And I'm trying to connect with people. That's most important, to stay connected, to involve more people like you guys, Expression team and the Way Forward team and other people to reach out to people. And people say, you're the president-in-chief, you should, there's some protocol and all that. Though those days are gone as far as I'm concerned. There's no question of protocol. Just sit down and, reach out and do the work. Yep. Yeah. What are the questions that you asked, which we went back to this one? What do I want to do? I'll be very honest with you. And do I ever have temptations of giving it all up? I work for a living, to clarify with those who don't know. I write school books and edit school books, and I earn royalty from those books. That's my prime area of income. I also do a lot of quiz contests. God has blessed me, so I earn money from there. And I do a lot of teaching and motivational sessions. But now that all that part has come to a standstill, and unfortunately for me, I've had to reinvent myself, or fortunately for me, and the last couple of weeks or months, I've done a couple of quizzes even abroad without moving from my home, in shorts. So
you're not wearing shorts now, Barry, but
I won't tell you. Yes, but I just want to tell you that I will reinvent myself a bit. But honestly speaking, as far as my profession is concerned, I'm slowly unwinding and getting into retirement mode. No question about it, because I want to read, I want to write. Seriously, I want to write, and I want to travel. Writing has become my first love. It used to be theater. I want to go back to theater also, which is my first love. But writing is slowly overcoming it. It's easier for me to sit at home and write. So reading, writing, doing some theater, and traveling, and using the money that God has blessed Denise and hard work to use all or most of the money up. And it's very tough, Andy, waking up every morning to think that 63 branches, so many commitments for the association, so many things I want to do, so many day-to-day mundane things that I have to look into, but I have to. So I'm thankful, especially to Rudy Woodman and Glenn Galston, for all their help, and governing body members, all of them in their own way are doing whatever they can. Just one example, look at Oscar Nigley handling 15, 16 branches. Just imagine that. So, and I don't want, I've named all of them before. So, but sometimes it does get a bit, tough. But as I've said it before, will not be having a very long innings. Not for any other reason. It's just for I want to do, finally, what I want to do.
Yeah.
So I can't read and write and travel and get into theater. So I try to do it within this role, as it were. But I think not long, and one day I will live for only for myself. I know it sounds selfish, but to do the things I really want to do.
It's good to be selfish sometimes. Look after
Because I'm not going to be quick
look
fix.
after yourself. You have to look after.
I'm not being stuck. I'm not going to be stuck to the chair. No way. In fact, I'm looking for, always looking for people who can be leaders today, tomorrow, day after, 5 years later, 10 years later. And one of them will soon, or many of them may be very capable and good presidents in chief. I'll take part of the credit.
Good.
Now,
I hope you've enjoyed the question answer session. My last question is going to be that final nail in the coffin. Okay, it's the last straw on the camel's back. It's a fun one. Most people know Barry O'Brien and very positive attributes and all the good things. Could you shed some light on his negative attributes, Mr. Barry O'Brien?
I put my foot into it with this Mr. Foot in mouth. Obviously, I have many things or attributes like everybody. One is I'm extremely lazy. I'm very lazy. Meaning when I've got a holiday or I'm watching a football match or I'm going to now unwind, I will just sit in my big chair and watch a match or go to sleep or it's very difficult. I'm physically very lazy. Of course, when action time, like AGM time or before an AGM or I'm doing a quiz, I'm all pumped up, or I'm finishing a manuscript. So I go from literally from 100 to 0, and I can be in 0 for lots of time. I'm rarely in the mode of 50 on 60. Okay, so that's one. Secondly, I think of it as a minus. I tend to overdo things. That means over listen to people, over worry myself about something, except my health, which I should be very worried about because of my weight or whatever, that I should be over worried about, which I'm not, which I should be. But otherwise, I feel that I am over concerned and I'm much better now. Before I became the president, MLA. I was a West Bengal MLA 15 years ago. Whenever, oh my gosh, that guy said this. That guy said this. Oh, let me try and tackle. That fellow, I've helped him A to Z, and the guy is still going and calling me the devil. I still get very concerned just about what the person thinks about me. Now I'm much better. That what do you call that word? What did I say? The I word was. Look at me. I've forgotten. The immunity. Yeah, Andy, I won't tell you, but there was a chap, and we really helped him. I really helped him, and we really helped him. Everything we did for him, and I can't tell you how much money we spent on him, not through the association because we don't have that kind of money, but I got it from my own other trust. And we helped this guy and moved him from his city to our city, did everything for his wife, his daughters, for himself. He was in rehab for 3-4 months. And then comes the coronavirus, which meant he carried on being over there. And we spent 1,10,000 rupees from my other trust for this guy and everything. He's come out and he is threatening. We have spent more than 1.5 lakhs on him and his wife and 2 daughters who were physically abused and mentally abused by him, who don't want to go next to him. The friends who helped and me, that I'm going to write on social media. And that friend of mine, I told that person, I said, please let him go and write as much as he wants. Okay, tell him to get my spelling right. Barry, capital BRIEN. Not bothered about it because people have to, so that's a minus actually. The other negative I would say is I am perhaps sometimes too impulsive. That's a bit of a thing.
You took these questions, so that was an impulse, wasn't it?
Sorry?
You took all these questions on impulse.
Yeah, impulse. It sometimes proves to be negative, but I consider it a positive. As you can see, they say if your eyebrows meet, you have a bad temper. Mine is plucked a bit, but actually it means I had a very bad temper. I must tell you, I've worked on it for the last 15 years. It's much better now. But those are my negatives. My positives are I drink very inexpensive whiskey. My positives are I like to sit at home and relax and, have a nice chin wag and anyway, those are my positives.
No.
Okay, Andy, good, yeah?
Not, I don't know how many people are listening to this conversation.
You and I enjoyed it.
Enjoyed talking to Mr. Barry O'Brien, the President-in-Chief of the All India Anglo-Indian Association. Thank you so much and good night. And I think you can have the last word. Good night, everyone.
Well, thank you very much to Andy Hoffland, to Graham Hayden, and to Julian Redden, and to Shomnath, who struggled, poor chap. It's beyond his control. And, well, somebody told me it's maybe sabotage. I hope it isn't, but anything can happen. Thank you all for being so patient. Thank you all for participating in a Christmas panorama. Thank you for all that you're doing for people who need you. Thank you for reaching out. Thank you for showing solidarity. Thank you for showing that you care. Thank you for respecting people. And we will have the prize distribution. All children, all teenagers, senior citizens and others. It's going to be really exciting. No speeches that day, no interviews, just results and praise people. Okay? Right. On Boxing Day, we will let you know the time. So we will send messages out. Please forward it to everybody. So thank you once again, Andy. It's been lovely.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed this, actually more than the talk, because those who stayed on actually got your masala questions.
Yes.
Anyway, so it's my pleasure and privilege to an honor to lead the All India Anglo-Indian Association. And till I'm there, you can be rest assured that I'm not going to be a weak president-in-chief. I'm not going to be an invisible president-in-chief. I'm not going to be a dithering president-in-chief. I will be a bit impulsive. I will try to be strong, but not strong-headed, reaching out to people, etc. But I can assure you, pray for me to keep well, but I won't be a long president-in-chief or for many, many years, because I really seriously, on a serious note, I really want to write. I want to write novels, fiction. I want to write short stories. I want to write for children, not write for a living like I do now, school books. And I really want to do some theater, and I want to travel. Denise and me want to travel and travel and travel, but we've got to wait for the pandemic. So let's all pray every day for the pandemic to end in some way and for all of us to help each other. Be safe. We're hearing about people not making it. So don't take a risk. It's better to sacrifice a few more months. Stay safe, and God bless you and your families. Andy, sorry to you and me for they go to sleep at 7:30, 8 o'clock. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Good night.
See you on Boxing Day.
Yeah. Good night.
Good night.